Welcome everyone to week 4. We are doing savings today. I think one of the hardest topics we do. It's all about safety and security and savings. So actually, it's all about savings. And the reason why you don't have savings is, well, we have issues with your safety and security. Hey, Maya, my lovely, how are you, sweetheart? So if you can switch on your camera so you can see your lovely face.
I don't know about my lovely face today. It was a bit chaotic.
Lovely.
Oh my God.
You're enjoying the British weather, are you, sweetheart?
Oh my God. It was 34. I can't even tell you because Glasgow often rarely gets above 16 on average for the whole of the summer. And yesterday we hit 34 degrees.
Oh wow. Okay, one second. Matty, I've dropped links for Matty. Matty is just mine. I love Matty. Honestly, I absolutely love Matty. Matty, I actually with him. I dropped the link for him in his messenger box. I dropped it here for you too. I might just drop it again, just to make it easy. Oh, okay. But yeah, we're getting the weather here as well. Oh, Matty's here. Oh, Matty, my gorgeous guy, you're here. Oh, wonderful, wonderful. I was about to drop you something in there. You're here. Hello. So yeah, so Maya, you was telling us about the weather. Yeah,
34. It was insane. That's insane.
In Glasgow, wow.
In Glasgow,
okay,
34.
So in London, we get really hot weathers at times. We get heat waves, and
Yeah.
we've got up to 37, 38 as well.
And it's mad.
But in Glasgow,
exactly. And I think they said it was going to hit about 26, but 34 yesterday was, and we are not equipped for it. You know, so we've got no fans, there's no aircon, the water's coming out of the pipes warm. It's just like,
the thing is, we're not designed for it. Our homes and our environment are designed, because we're such a cold country.
Yeah.
We're designed to keep warm. We're not designed to actually deal with the hot weather.
Absolutely. And the west of Scotland is usually grey, and we have a lot of rain. I mean, every summer, all summer, grey skies, rain for the last 16 years. Actually, it's not true. The last 15 years. Right, so it's been crazy, and I'm looking at the trees, and I said to David, we better get the hose.
All right, okay. So we are doing savings today. It's 9 past the hour, so I assume we've done enough chit chat, and let's get cracking with it. So anybody who's not here now, please. This is a really, really important topic. So you're watching this in replay. You can skip the rest part, but start from here. This is really important. And something that really is really close to my heart, because I know this is something that I had an issue with, regardless of my income. My savings just was never around. Okay, so that's why I had to work on this, and I found that you can increase your income, you can manifest things, and I did something I shared actually in my Millionaire Mindset group, and for the first time ever that I actually physically admitted this, that I actually became a property millionaire. So I became a millionaire at the age of 28. And that was way back when I think my daughter was born in February. No, my daughter was born in March. By June of that year, I was property millionaire. I was a millionaire. But something triggered, and that's when I separated from her father, and things went really pear-shaped and everything else and whatever else. So this is so powerful, and I only put the dots together. Even I'm a money mindset expert. Even now, I'm still putting the dots together in terms of what happened, background, and whatever else. And then soon thereafter, I didn't accept it. I think I didn't accept the fact that I was now a millionaire, and I lost that status because thereafter the property crash happened, and obviously I lost all the equity, right? So I kept the property, so it slowly kept up. So I wasn't again in the millionaire, at least paper millionaire category, until I did the numbers again recently and realized, oh my gosh, I actually now would be classified as a millionaire, right? So this is something that's quite important, that you don't even acknowledge where you've reached your targets, because sometimes the other blocks are so much they stop you from seeing things. And the image that we all have of rich people is flashy cars, lots of fun things, holidays and whatever else, but actually that's not the case. If you go for the property million, the Millionaire Next Door, and that's one of my favorite books, by the way, if you haven't read the Millionaire Next Door, it teaches you how people who are the Millionaire Next Door, some people go and take it extreme, but generally it's people who are actually frugal with money. They actually know where to spend their money, and it's the kind of thing that the Robert Kiyosaki teaches as well, and Rich Dad Poor Dad, whereas you save up your money and get your money to actually you know, you're getting money to work for you and bring in more money, and that is the best way. But unfortunately, you know, I think most millionaires do get to that point. If you don't have the mindset in place and start getting your money to work for you, and so that's why savings are so important. You will actually always be chasing your dreams. So that's my, you know, 2 pence in terms of what I recently realized. And it's funny how I keep calling myself an expert, and I do believe I am an expert, and I'm still learning things about myself or what happened to me and what's going on, and I'm able, like, I am very transparent, so I'm able to share it. You know, the cash flow and everything else will come, but first of all, acknowledge the things that you have. That's one thing that I realized: acknowledge and accept and appreciate the things you have. And then actually, not in a boastful way, but acknowledge it, like, oh my God, I have reached the target. I'm super grateful for that. Okay, what's my next target? Let me go for that. This does make sense, people. Okay, so this is, it's about, not about being boastful about what you've achieved. It's about being grateful to divine source energy that you set a manifestation and you've achieved it. I set a manifestation, and remember, I was quite early on in my journey, back in when I was early 20s, when I set the target that before 30 I was going to become a millionaire. I didn't specify that I was going to be a cash millionaire. I didn't specify how I was going to be. I just wanted to be a millionaire. That's all I wanted to be. And so by 28, I did it. And then I lost it, you know, a year later, the status, because of the property crash. But that's the story. But you can achieve your targets. And hi, Shamantha. Oh, I'm going to give a big shout out to Shamantha. Shamantha's doing her Kickstarter, and she's almost at the target in 2 days. She's almost at the target. That is super, super awesome. I'm super proud of you, my lovely. So Samantha's starting a new startup, and she did a Kickstarter campaign, and she's 2 days into her campaign, and she's already hitting her target, which is, oh my God, that's absolutely awesome. You're welcome, my lovely. You're welcome. And Samantha's also being my guest in my group as well, so that's something to look out for. Okay, by the way, guys, before I talk about today, so let me make a couple of announcements. So yesterday, I sort of realized, speaking to some people, that they want information on how to do, you know, how to set up business, how to do online business, whatever else. How many of you would be interested in that? You know, because I thought, for the new people and for everybody else, this is open to everyone in the boot camp. I'm not a business expert. I'm not somebody who's a business coach, but I have a successful online business, and I'm happy to do brainstorming. So I come across, I'm not presenting myself an expert, but I'm happy to do a session where it's like a mastermind brainstorming ideas of how you can narrow down your niche, how you can focus on the product that you need to have, because you need to, from where I'm standing, you need to nail your offer. Your offer has to be concrete, and then you have to pick out your niche for it. Okay, so this is 2 things that you have to have in mind, and this is, I think, something that I've sort of worked out for myself, and I can pass on my knowledge. Who would be interested in something like that from you guys? Okay, so Maya, you will be, yeah. Okay, this is, and okay, Matti and Yvonne too. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to set this. This is purely as an added bonus for you guys. I'm also bringing in, doing a masterclass, and this is only for you guys. Okay, so there's this amazing girl, because I teach all the Google stuff about how to manifest money, how to bring money in. So this friend of mine that I was talking to last night, I think she's awesome, but she's an accountant. So she's a chartered accountant who's become a wealth strategist. So she will teach you methods of how to, you know, bottom line numbers and how to make profits and so forth. So I'm collaborating with her. Again, that's an unannounced additional bonus for you guys. This is for everybody who's coming into the boot camp, and you guys are like my founding members. So I'm doing everything I have to you guys. That's going to be next week. Oh, what time is it next week? I have set a time up with her. Let me see. Okay, so I can tell you now, and I'll make a post of this as well in the boot camp group as well. But this is happening next week. I think it's happening on the 10th. Okay, so this masterclass, okay, is happening. Is going to be happening 1 o'clock on Tuesday, the 10th of July. Okay, and she's honestly, she talks about profit margins and other things and blah blah blah. She's awesome, and I think she'll cover the kind of area that I can't cover, which is what to do with your money once you have it. Okay, so I think she's awesome for that. So this is Tuesday the 10th of July at 1 o'clock. We will be a Zoom call, so I'll drop the link on the 10th of July, and we will get together here, and she'll actually present, and I'll ask questions, and she'll have her slides and whatever else. This is awesome. There is going to be, I'm trying to see if she will do a free one for the Magnanimous Money Masters group as well. Actually, I'll call it MMM, the MMM free group. keep in mind that will be different. So the content of the class for you guys is going to be more valuable. It's going to be more concrete and more actionable. If she does a free class, it's more like a free master class, you know, it's for her funnel, so as a way for her to you know, get leads and so forth. So they're two distinct things. I want to make that clear. What you guys, I'm doing for you guys, is something separate and something a lot more beneficial. And that the other, if that's a big maybe. If she does a class in MMM, it's going to be completely different, and it's not. And you're welcome to see that too. You're welcome to join that too. But don't think that these two classes are the same. They're not. If I mean, honestly, I don't know if you, because she's traveling on the 11th of July. I'm not sure if we'll be able to fit that in. That might be something we do in September. Hello, who's TPZ? Is that Tyrus? I think so. Is it Tyrus? Hey Tyrus. Okay, so that's the announcement for that. So two announcements. I'm going to put in extra classes for those of you who actually want some help with business in terms of what we can do, and I will announce which days we're going to get together. This is both for you guys and for the next batch of the bootcamp people. And this masterclass again will be open to everybody. Okay. The bonus course I've announced as well. So once the next batch is ready, I will start putting the dates for those as well for you guys to attend. So there's a lot of classes coming up, but I'm trying to give you everything possible for you to become, you know, for me to support you. One of the major classes that I really want everyone to attend is the one on visibility. It's now called Get Seen, Get Heard, and you know, Make Profit, or something along those lines. But again, really powerful, because for you to make profits, you have to be seen. Okay, and I know personally each and every one of you now, and I know what talents you guys have, and those talents are not being showcased in the world at large. Okay, and so another thing I will do is I will start interviewing each one of you in my MMM group too, and I want to bring out what you have to offer. And I think Matty, I think this is something that, you know, you have something which is amazing, which is, you know, the percentage for profits, which I think is awesome. Okay, not many people know about it. We definitely want to get that out to people, because that is an amazing thing that you do, and you're intuitive as well. But I think that's, you know, I'll discuss with you what exactly you want to showcase and how to do this. We could actually discuss this on the masterclass. Also, you know, that's for me, to make sure that you do have a freebie, so you start getting people into your funnel, you get people into your email list, which I think is key, because you want to be communicating to people all the time. Make sense? Yep. This may seem a lot, but my goal is for me to just make sure that you guys we have all the tools in place and all the strategies in place to become my six-figure earners. I'm not just talking in hot air. I really want to take every single one of you to six figures at least, and then beyond. Well, we carry on working from there onwards, and you go on beyond. Okay. Something that I'm putting together with this other lady in collaboration is going through. That may be something of interest to you, but that's only going to be open to those people who are earning six figures or beyond, because that's going to be actually taking to the next level, where it's, when you have money coming in, how do you invest? What do you do with it? And how do you change your mindset from becoming a six-figure earner to becoming a seven-figure and eight-figure earner? And honestly, that will happen later, because I'm still working on my multiple six figures. I'm only hitting six figures at the moment. When I've hit the multiple six, which I think Tyrus is trying to help me, because I need to build my team, because I'm a one-woman show at the moment. I have help in terms of I hire people, but something that Matty was guiding me on, like, go, you need to get some help. Go, you need to hire someone. Go, you need to do this. So I listen to advice. I'm always learning from you guys, and Matty is absolutely correct, and so is Tyrus. I need to hire team members. Again, whatever I learn, I'll pass on to you guys, and that's it. So I love you guys so much. Okay, now let's get cracking with today's topic, because I know I can smile now, and I'll be a bit subdued a bit later. Okay, so where are we? Yvonne says, thank you, we love you. I love you too. Oh, by the way, everyone's TPC says we love you too. Thank you, sweetheart. Okay. And I'm assuming TPC is Tyrus. I'm assuming, because I can't work out what else it is. Oh, he says, oh, wonderful, fabulous. Okay. Right. Okay. So I'm going to start sharing my screen with you guys, you wonderful people. Awesome. Okay. So if I just hide this now. Okay. So today's session is all about building your savings. Okay. It's about having savings. We're going to talk about exactly what do savings represent, and how, why is that you can be making so much money and still not have savings, and what actually savings do for you energetically and internally, and how it can support you in your future, and why they're so essential. Okay, why savings are so essential, and what's my take on savings. So the first thing, as always, we set the intention. So I want you to set the intention that any old beliefs, old traumas, stories which are preventing you from building a savings account will be cleared today. Okay, take a moment right now to set the intention of what issues you want to change, what issues you would like to eliminate from your energy body, for them to eliminate easily and effortlessly in today's clearing session. Okay. So what happens when you take in energy? So basically, just a quick recap. I think most people are aware of it there, but I just want to make sure that we cover the grounds. So your reality field is made up of your beliefs, your ideas, your justifications, your opinions, your basically ideas on every single thing. And the quantum physics has actually proven this, that your reality, what you see, is actually dependent on how you see it. So if you have an idea that the TV works in a particular way, you're actually making the TV to work in that particular way. So that's how powerful this is. Your intention or your ideas about things actually change the things in front of you. Okay, that's quantum physics. I'm just going to quickly say that. How do we change these patterns? We change them two ways. So today we'll have a clearing session that will change these ideas and your energy around certain topics. And most importantly, we are going to have stories, and I'm all about stories. So we are going to rewrite your money stories. And going back, money story doesn't necessarily have to do with money, especially today's topic. You'll realize why money is not necessarily a topic that is even involved in your stories. Okay, but the topic is so powerful. It has a really strong, in most cases, detrimental effect on your money. Okay, so what does saving actually mean? That's the first question. Okay, so if people like and I attract a lot of professionals that I've worked with, a lot of professionals like myself, so we have a lot of money coming in. So you're making a decent amount of money. If not, you're working, I think most accountants or professionals I work with, and even online entrepreneurs now, they are making at least 30, 40,000, 100,000 in their as an annual basis. Who's here? We need to make sure that everyone is okay. 1 second. Whoever it is, can you block yourselves, please? Because I want to make sure that it's on. Everybody else is muted. Awesome. Okay. So what does saving actually mean? People who are earning enough, who are earning more than the average and more than the average, are still living paycheck to paycheck. Okay, they're only one paycheck away from a disaster. And most self-employed people, and a lot of the professionals, I would say about at least 60-70% of the or professionals, are just 3 months away from bankruptcy. They literally are 3 months away from bankruptcy. And that's why I've always classified job as just above broke. Okay, and what is that? So what does actually saving provide? Saving is nothing more than actually providing a blanket of security. It just provides you a buffer in case of emergencies, in case there's unexpected event, or it just gives you mental security that if X and Y happens, or if something unexpected happens, I have this buffer, I have this security blanket to take care of me. If I lose my job, if the economy turns down, or if one of my clients goes bust, I fall ill, it just gives you that blanket, the security blanket, to take care of you when you are not able to have the regular income, when you're not making the kind of money that you want to make, or you are not able to make their expenses. You have the security blanket. Okay, and that's all saving does for you. It makes you feel safe, it makes you feel secure, and it makes you feel calm around your finances. That's it. That's all savings does. Okay, it does not give you savings. And by the way, when I'm talking about savings, I'm actually talking about liquid savings. So I am not talking about I'm not talking about the equity in your home. I'm not talking about in some cultures, like I think Kusha will understand this, that we in our Asian culture, we buy a lot of gold. The gold is actually meant to be safety security method. So if in case of an emergency, you sell your gold. And I've done that. So all my wedding gold and everything has been sold. It was done when I was in a real dire situation. So that was my savings. But I never wore gold. It wasn't something that pleases me. I'm not much of a jewelry person, as you can see anyway, right? But it provides elements of security. So that's traditionally what people do. Okay, but apart from that, there's nothing else. Okay, but because some people treat credit cards as that. No, credit cards are not the same as well. So it's only the liquid cash that you can have access to. So this could be something as an ISA, as in the UK. It's something that you have access to really rapidly, and it's liquid cash. Now, liquid cash savings has a different energy compared to when you buy when you buy investments, either shares, or you buy a property, or you buy something else. So investments are different, savings are different. Okay, they have a different energy. I know you can take your savings and put it into investments, and that's a different story. But actual savings that you can get your hands on within the next, I think you can put it into an account where you need to apply for it. So you don't have direct access, you need to apply for it, and it takes 24 hours or 48 hours to be authorized before you can remove it. That's perfectly fine too, but it has to be accessible within a couple of days. So if an emergency arises, you can go to the bank and say, I want my money, and get the money. Okay, which you cannot do with if you have investments in various things. And also, let me just give the distinction here. When you put your money in investments are exactly that, risky. So your money can go up or down. It doesn't give you the mental security that your money is safe. Okay, you need to have a certain amount of money which is safe and is absolutely always available to you when you need it. Let me repeat that. The money is accessible to you, and in the certain amount, that guaranteed the certain amount, be it 10,000, 2,000, 4,000, 100, or 500, whatever amount it is in savings, that amount is accessible to you when you need it, and it's going to be exactly that, 500 or 1,000 or whatever it is. It can't be 500 one day and 450 the next day. Okay, that's risky. That's investments. That's completely different energy, and we're not talking about that today. I'm actually talking about savings, the money that you have access to in your bank account. I hope that's clear. Have I made myself clear? Please give me a thumbs up or say something to me that you understand the distinction between what I'm talking about savings. Okay, cool. Awesome. And by the way, I keep saying awesome, right? My daughter goes to me, Mom, can you stop saying slang words? I'm like, I don't use slang words in English, right? Well, not UK English, but American slang words like awesome and dude, I keep saying them. So I got told off from my daughter for using slang words like, Mom, stop it. Can you imagine what kind of children we're bringing up? Seriously. Anyway, back to here. Okay, so what does actually lack of savings trigger? When you don't have savings, it triggers profound sadness. It triggers anxiety. It provides a sense of loss. Okay, generally, lack of savings tends to bring up memories of someone or some way connected to a sense of loss in your parents' life or in your lives. Let me repeat that. So lack of savings generally tends to bring up something as a great sense of loss, either in your life or your parents' life. It's a lack of security. Something happened, an event happened, which made you feel unsafe or insecure, okay? Or unsecure. So you're not safe in general. It doesn't have to be with money. Okay, it can be with money, but it doesn't have to be money. It's a point where you are not safe and you're safe and secure, and therefore you live in that reality bubble for there onwards, and therefore you're not allowing yourself to remain safe thereafter. And remember, the energy of savings is just providing you safety and security. So that's why if you're not going to allow yourself to feel safe and secure, subconsciously, remember, then you will not allow yourself to have savings, especially in liquid form. Okay, in liquid format, and this is key. Okay? This is key. This is one of the things that I realized that I had an issue with savings. So any money that I would get, I would spend. I would make investments. I would either spend it on. I'm not much of a spender in other things, but I would spend on risky investments. I've always been doing that. I would go on holidays because I traveled a lot, so I would spend on travel, and I would buy my vice. Okay, shoes. So shoes I would buy, shoes and handbags, two things that I used to buy and spend money on, and waste money on them because don't exactly retain money in that, or do they? But anyway, but I would never have savings. I would never have savings, regardless how much money I made. I would, if a certain amount of pooled up, I would actually, the savings that we do is with something called committee, where we put money in with somebody else. So every month I would give a certain amount of money as supposedly savings to somebody else, and we pull the money together, and in the end I would get a certain amount. As soon as I would get that certain amount, it would go into either I've invested it somewhere or I've spent it somewhere. I don't physically keep that money in my bank account. I never have. Okay, I will. Let me repeat that. Play and cancel that. I didn't up until now. I do now. That's a different story. But before, I wouldn't. Okay, so any money that I would have would be spent or allocated or done something. And my bank account was pretty much zero all the time, even though I was earning quite a lot. So little or no savings could mean you've lost something or you lost someone special. Okay, you felt a loss of freedom. That's the key. When you felt a loss of freedom, when you felt trapped somewhere, emotionally, physically, or financially. Okay, it also would trigger emotional time when you felt like you've lost yourself. So if there's a moment in your life when you really felt like you've lost yourself, you've lost your identity. Again, you've lost the safety element. You no longer are able to have that security blanket for you. Okay, lack of savings triggers the same feelings of loss as abandonment, totally unsupported. And when you start working to release these emotions, so today it will give you a lot of sense of grief. So that's what I'm saying. I was being bouncy and bubbly earlier. When we start talking about these things, it's going to trigger a lot of sadness, a lot of emotional baggage that you're probably not even aware of. And memories will come to surface, which you are, make sure, am I recording? I am recording, thank God. Sadness will come from past events that you may not even connect to your finances. So usually when I do this session with my clients, they come up with stories which have nothing to do with money per se. They don't understand how can that trigger so much sense of loss, but it does, because we, the brain is not, it doesn't have compartments that we keep thinking of, that it has to be, one compartment for family, another compartment for finances, another compartment for a career, another compartment for our girlfriend, boyfriend, another one for our children. It doesn't work like that. Your brain, your neurons are interconnected, and one memory will trigger another memory, and that will trigger another memory. That's how your brain works, right? But energy is so much more than that too. Okay, energy is, okay, this Nisha saying something. What's Nisha saying? 1 second. I hope she can find the link for it. Oh God, we're on this call now. So Nisha's asking, we are on the call now, babe. Oh dear. Let me just, oh gosh. Give me 1 second. Let me just tag her in, because I don't think she needs to be here. Nisha, here is the link. Okay, I just tagged her. Wonderful. And I lost my train of thought. What I was talking about. Okay, so these past events, you will actually, where there's a sense of great loss, where there's a sense of enormous pain and grief, you don't normally per se think, oh my gosh, that's the reason why I don't have savings. But I'm here to tell you that would trigger it. So once you've eliminated that, you start bringing in money and actually really having money in your savings account. Okay. Now, one of the things is, my clients come to me and they say, "Oh, Gul, I've put, especially this is especially true for those of you, for those with actually accountants. Accountants is key. My cousin is an accountant, and I remember doing this with her as well. So they say they're great with finances when it comes to other people, right? So they have this plan in motion and this great ideas of what can they do with their money and how should they be saving and where should they be going and etc. etc. But when it comes to their own money, they're a complete mess, and that's really surprising. And why is that? So my comments to that is always that you are, when it comes to other people's money, you are very neutral towards it. So when you're neutral towards something, you are able to use your logic. You're able to use your logic and actually do things which will, which from your past experience or from your expertise, how to, to segregate the money, what to do with each money, and how to actually have a savings account. That's what you do for other people when you're neutral. That's when you use your expertise. That's when your logical mind uses your expertise, and you act accordingly, because there's no personal emotions involved. And therefore, these experts are fantastic money managers for other people's money. When it comes to your own money, that's when your own emotions get involved, and therefore you're no longer neutral. Therefore, you're not acting from the element of neutrality. You're not acting from the expertise. You're acting according to emotions. You're acting according to what you think. Oh, not you think. You're acting according to what you feel. And when you feel such negative loss and such negative emotions towards money, especially when it comes to savings, having the sense of grief, you do not act logically, and that's why you are unable to implement the same strategies, the same rules for your own self that you're able to do for other people. And one of the key examples of that is when people have said, okay, let's let's make a plan of having savings. Let's do X, Y, Z to make sure we have a certain amount of savings, all right? But you never implement it. And that's assuming you actually think about it. Most people just turn a blind eye and don't want to think about having savings. They don't even want to think. They don't even want to address the idea that they need to have savings and as a security blanket. They just live paycheck to paycheck, or they think, okay, we'll start next month, and we'll start next month, we'll start later, and later never comes. Next month never comes. Okay, and this is absolute key. So now we're going to talk about how you really feel about savings. Okay. So now, do you guys have pen and paper? Guys, tell me you have a pen and paper, because you know whenever you come to my class, you need to have a pen and paper, because we're going to write things down. It's essential, and I really wanted you to do this with me, okay? So give me a thumbs up if you have a pen and paper. Awesome. Okay, shouldn't say awesome, but okay. All right, so I want you to really take a deep breath first. Now I want you to write down how much do you have in your savings account? How much money do you actually have in your savings account? Write the figure down. And this is only the amount that's accessible to you immediately. So not your investments, not the equity in your home, not your cars, how much your car's worth, your jewelry. Well, jewelry can be. I know gold is easy to sell. Diamonds are not easy to sell, by the way. So diamonds are expensive to buy. They're really, they hardly have any value when you resell them, unless I suppose there's a particular amount or whatever. But so you can include jewelry, but I'm not that keen on it. And gold, I know you can get the price. You don't get the full price, but at least there's something element to it. So give me a thumbs up, or say okay in the chat box when you've got this written down. How much savings do you have? Okay, perfect. Now I want you to write down what are the two main feelings that come up when you think of this number. Look at this number, really look at this number, and tell me the first two feelings that come up when you look at the number. The feelings, okay? Not your thoughts, feelings that come up when you look at this number. And I want you to share in the chat box with me. Write it down first and then share in the chat box. What are the two main feelings that come up when you look at this number? Uh-oh. Okay. Matty says, I'm safe. Okay, Matty, because we've been doing a lot of work. You've done a lot of work, and so you would be, okay. Maya says, happy and apprehensive. That's interesting, Maya. Happy and apprehensive. What do you mean by that? Sabine says, panic. Okay. Samantha, I want more. Maya says, I'm safe. Okay, so you are safe. Okay, great. So the feelings are happy and apprehensive. Why apprehensive then, Maya? Oh, let me unmute you so you can tell me.
Okay, so when I earn money, I tend to earn a lot, and I save a lot. I'm a compulsive saver. In fact, I generally save more than I spend, and I hate shopping. Okay, so but what happens is that my income tends to yo-yo. And last year I deliberately dumped my company, and we did 220,000 in profit last year.
Right.
And I realized that I should have spent more through the company, because my tax bill was enormous, and it wouldn't have been if I'd spent more. Right. But the second thing is that when I'm not earning, I don't like watching the numbers go down, because I have 3 savings accounts. Right. So I have a savings account that supplements income, a savings account that's just for emergencies, and a savings account I don't touch. Okay. So but I do, when the top two start to shrink, I get apprehensive. I don't like it.
Okay, that's very apprehensive. So I think we've got some stories to work around that, because you're actually, I think, you need to release some stories, and you should become comfortable with actually knowing that you don't need to have that much money to be comfortable around money, to be honest. When you hit a certain amount, you are done. That's it. That's when you become money magnet, and money starts coming to you. So that's fine. So today would help you, my lovely. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so Matt says, I need more to bring my invention to the world. So you need to attract more money, Matty, for your startup. So you need to do a startup. Matty, oh, by the way, Matty, I'm going to get you to talk to Shamantha. You might be able to do something like what Shamantha's doing to startup. So I'm going to pay you 2 up. So actually, I'm going to get you to talk to Shamantha. You definitely should talk to her, and your invention can actually get backing from other people like she has. So that's another thing we'll talk about. So the money you need for that is actually investments. You don't need to have your own savings, and I wouldn't recommend you use your own savings anyway. Okay. Yvonne says embarrassment and shame. Okay, so that's very, okay, so those are the kind of feelings you can come up with, which is fine. And those are very normal. So normally I wasted so much money on things I did not need, and mistakes. Yeah, Samantha, Yvonne, yes, sorry, Yvonne. I will get it by the end of the summer. Awesome, Matty, awesome. Savings or investments? Which one are you talking about, Matty? Yvonne, that's very, very normal. Both. Okay, awesome. Fabulous. Okay, fabulous. So Yvonne, it's feeling of embarrassment and shame is very, very normal. And most people, are really reluctant to share how much savings they have, because they don't have many savings, and they think, especially professionals, they think, oh my God, I've been working for so many years, I've been doing so much, and I have such abysmal amounts, if any, in my savings account. That's a very common feeling. So embarrassment and shame is a very, very common feeling, and I remember I suffered from that as well. Okay, so now I want you to write down the 2 main things you say in your head when you look at it. So everything you guys said to me before, I want you to write down this. What are the 2 main things you say in your head when you look at that number? And please share with me in the chat box. The 2 main things you say in your head. Okay, so how long will this last? Is it enough? Okay. So yes, I do feel lack of freedom, losing myself and not having a choice, and yes, lots of abandonment, rejection, and bringing unsupported in childhood and teens. Yeah, this. So I know I can sense that when we spoke that this needs to be clear today. I am safe and I need more. Okay, Yvonne says stupid. Why did I waste it? Okay. Stupid is another very common feeling that comes up, like how the hell can I be so stupid? Why the hell am I so stupid? Why the hell do I do this? Now, one thing I want to point out to you guys. So when you have these awful, really strong emotions coming up every time you think of your savings, do you think your conscious mind would allow you to feel, the subconscious mind would allow you to think about your savings very often? It would actually put it back of the mind as much as possible, because if every time you think of your savings, all these strong emotions get kicked in, and plus the actual abandonment issues and fear of loss, which I'm going to talk about in a bit anyway, and we're going to clear, if they come up at the simultaneously, do you think you will put a plan in motion? Do you think you'll find a way to make sure that you are actually making, having things in place to actually do, to actually have savings? Do you think that will happen? I don't think so, because your subconscious mind is there to protect your emotions as well as you. So if it feels unsafe, if it feels it's going to be attacked, even if it's unlogical, even things I'm going to feel sad, I'm going to feel upset. If you think of the subconscious mind as your alter ego, that thinks, oh no, if Gould thinks about her savings, she's going to feel sad and upset. Let's not mention it to her. Let's not bring it to her. Let's not make her forget. Let's forget it. Let's forget about it. Let's put it away. Okay, that's how your subconscious mind thinks when when it's when all these emotions come up and all these things come up. It thinks like, okay, let me just forget about this for now. Let me deal with it another time. And you go on and do whatever everything else you want. My subconscious says, why have you done this already? So do you think about this more often? Maybe it's something that you think more frequently. But Matty, keep this in mind. You are probably ahead of the group anyway, because you do a lot of personal development work, and you're actually working one-to-one with me also. So we have you are really clearing your internal story. So maybe your subconscious mind is a bit more alert. Kusha says, I'm happy with all the savings I made while I was working. My dad created this discipline habit for me. I do want to increase my money flow, to increase my savings and spending both, which is awesome. Awesome. That's something which you've taken from your father, which is absolutely fantastic. Mike says, I think about this every day. Oh, wow. That's awesome. And that's probably the reason why you have so much savings, and you are constantly making sure that it doesn't drop down a particular level. So your thermostat for the amount of savings you should have is set quite high. And as soon as it starts hitting the bottom end of it, you start thinking, oh my God, let me do something to make sure that my savings go back up. That's quite normal. Okay, so we have this down. Now, this is really important. Okay, this is where you're going to bring up your story to surface. So now, I guess, like I will, it's like I 12 months expenses at the very least. Yes, and I think that's what most people advocate, that you should have at least 12 months of living expenses, comfortable living expenses in the bank account, as a savings, as liquid savings, which is absolutely key. Right. So now, well, let's go on to here, and this is something that I want you to really think about now. So does thinking about the amount in your savings remind you of something that happened in the past that involved great loss, disappointment, or a feeling of losing safety or security? Let me repeat that. Does thinking about the amount in your savings remind you of something that happened in the past that involved great loss, disappointment, or a feeling of losing safety or security? Now I want you to think about this quite clearly and then write this down. Just write a few pointers down. You don't have to have the full sentence. Just anything that write something down. What's Nisha saying? Okay, so right. Thank you, Tyrus, for dropping the link in there for her. Awesome. Maya says, yes, I was homeless at 16 and no secure abode until I was 20. Wow, that's going to be a major one. So that way, that's going to be a serious way. You've gone the extreme. Instead of having no savings, you've gone the other way to make sure you always have money, that you always have a home, you always, you're always making sure there's enough money to cover all your at least minimum expenses. Absolutely, so that's a powerful story. And I had a baby at 20 while homeless. Oh my gosh. So that's a powerful story. But that's probably the reason why you changed the other way around, because I think you can deal with being homeless for yourself, but as a mother, it changed your ideology. Because I know once you become a mom, your thinking changes so much, and what you can do and where you allow yourself to be changes dramatically. So that's a powerful story, and that's your why. And that's awesome. That's just fabulous. Brilliant. And that just clearly shows you can go to two extremes. You can go one or the other, and you've gone completely the other. And that's another reason why every time it falls a certain level, you panic attacks like, oh, no, let me get more money back in. So yeah, that's a great example. Everybody have their stories now? Any stories that come up? By the way, don't think logically for these answers. I always say that whatever memory comes to your mind within the first 3 seconds of me asking the question is your ideal story. It could be something as crazy as losing your cousin or your brother or your sister, bullying you at the child. That also works. Carla says, Kusha says, after leaving my job, my savings have reduced and I realized how important money was in my life. Yeah, so Kusha, that's another thing. If you, people, this happens with people, this happens with me. So I'm able to, at one point, not anymore, but it used to be, where I was able to save a certain amount of money, and I saved regularly, but not with myself, not my own account. It had to be with a third party. So you remember the committee thing that I was telling you about, giving money to some third person to look after, and then when it became a lump sum, she would give it back to me. But as soon as I got that money back, I would spend it. I would spend it, and I wouldn't actually. So keeping money in my own bank account was a problem for me. You, on the other hand, your savings have been going down because you've been living on your savings. So again, if you had a great, so if you went to the extreme like Maya did, you would make sure that doesn't matter even if you didn't have a job, you would not spend your savings. You would do, I don't know, freelance work or other things and something else to make sure that your money was at a particular level. And therefore, even though you're able to save regularly, it doesn't mean you have savings because you've dipped back into the savings. The idea with liquid savings, and this is the thing I teach in the 5 bank accounts, and I don't know if you guys watched it or not, but I'm going to go through that as a masterclass with you guys anyway, is where one of the accounts that you have is called under your name, and you never, ever spend that, ever. And you have that mentality that you're never going to spend this money. And that's when you hit that, with that account, when you hit a particular number, which is different for everyone, by the way, for, it could be as low as 2,000 for somebody. It could be as high as 50,000. It's never been beyond 50,000, by the way. So more than 50,000, I've not seen anybody that I've come across who is beyond 50,000. But it's somewhere between 2,000 and 50,000. When you hit a particular number, that's it. You are now completely safe and secure around money, and therefore you never ever feel like I don't have money. And as soon as you hit that magic number, this sweet spot, you are then at a point where you become money magnet, because money starts flowing to you in increasing quantity. It really does. And you start coming opportunities and things happen and money just starts coming to you. It really does. It's that powerful. I've done more with less savings, and I need more safety than before when I was younger. Yeah, you will. I think when you're younger, you don't pay that much attention to savings. When you're older, you need more savings, because that's when you start thinking, oh my God, I only have a certain amount of time. Say, for example, you say, I've got another 20, 30 years of of me actually earning, physically being able to earn money. I need to make sure that I have money coming in from outside. Chris says, I'm still saving, but it's gone down. And yes, too much of gold lying in a bank locker. Yeah, gold is, Kusha, for you and I, from our backgrounds, we do treat gold as a saving. It has sentimental value. So when I sold my gold, especially my gold, and I had some of my mom's gold as well, because that was my memory sake for my mother. But when I sold that, it was emotional time, really, really emotional. I was really upset about it. But it went, it's gone, and yeah, it's a form of saving. But again, because I had emotional attachment to it, it wasn't my savings. It was my memories. So if you keep I know people who buy gold bars and keep it at home, and that's different. That's actually savings. But when you have gold like this, which has memories attached to it, when you sell that, you feel so negative and so sad and so upset, like I was. You go into really negative relationship with money, because you remember all these powerful emotions are coming up, and they're coming up in association with getting money. So when you have any negative emotions associated with money in any shape or form, you are attaching really powerful negative emotions with money, and therefore you're pulled down. Okay. And that's why gold, as long as it's gold and it doesn't have sentimental value, it's savings. As soon as sentimental value is associated with it, like it was with mine, then it becomes, because I was thinking I was going to give my wedding gold. It was really, really pretty. I'll actually share some pictures of when I wore it. It was quite heavy, but really, really pretty. I was going to give it to my daughter as a present to her, but obviously I had to sell it. Never mind. I'll buy more gold for her if she needs it. I don't think she's a gold wearing person either. We're not much of a jewelry people. Anyway. Okay, so has everyone got the stories now? Give me thumbs up. Okay, perfect. And for those of you who are not with the videos on, can you just say okay? Shaman says yay. Okay, fabulous. Now I want you to, by the way, answer the first answer that pops in within the first 3 seconds. So when I ask you questions, don't think too much. The first answer that pops in your mind within the first 3 seconds is something that I want you to just write down and tell me. So now I want you to look at the savings amount again. Look how much money you have in your savings account. And then answer this question. Sorry, answer the question. Then complete this sentence for me. Complete the sentence. This means I am. Once again, complete this sentence. But look at your savings amount, the amount of figure, financial figure, the actual real number, where a number is, and then complete the sentence. And then share with me in the chat box. This means I am. And don't think too much, just write the first number, the first word or phrase that comes to mind. Maya says safe for the moment. Okay, yeah, Maya, we need to get away. You are safe. We need to remove the moment from you. Yvonne says a failure. Krish says I am secure. Shaman says feel small. Okay. Yeah. Anybody else? This is the feeling that we need to remove, because every time you think of money, this is the feeling that comes up, especially when money in the form of savings. So Matt is at the intermediate state. Okay, so you need to have more coming in, but at least you're feeling okay with it. You're feeling okay with the money. You're not sad. So when I talk about money, I never talk about in the grand scale of things. I talk about money in terms of savings and debt and other things. Oh, and a feeling of expansion and comfort. Okay, that's good. Those are good emotions, Maya. So those are good emotions to have with at least that aspect of money, which it comes to, at least with savings part, you have that. Those are good emotions to have with it, which is awesome. Okay, so now just I want you to the story that you have. Make sure you just finish it off. Any points that have come up against when we've been talking. So this is expansion, as I have a daily money flow, need to build up the savings again. Okay, money flow is different, savings is different, honey. So you can have very little money coming in, but your savings could be good, like Maya's, or you can have a lot of money coming in and very little savings, as the case of the majority of the people. Okay, So just want you to go back to your story. If anything else has come up since I've been talking, point those notes down, because remember, we are going to use this as your basis to write your money stories. This is your money story that you're going to actually rewrite after as part of your homework. So just get everything down, and remember, nothing is too small, nothing is insignificant, because we are triggering on such a subconscious level, and I'm stirring up the emotions. Anything that's come up, even if it feels really small or insecure or insignificant, if anything at all, write it down, and then this will be in your money story, which we're going to burn. So reasons I want both, haha, money coming in and increased savings. Absolutely, I mean, absolutely, Sabine, me too. I want to increase my flow and I want to increase my savings, even at the moment. Absolutely, absolutely, we want both, because we need to have both, okay? So like I said, don't, just coming to this point, don't limit your observations to what you think is important. Everything, get everything down, get every little point down, and we are then going to burn these stories and rewrite new ones. Okay, is that good with everybody? Yeah. So I'm going to quickly check in to see where you are at the moment. Actually, we'll do the check-in. Actually, you know what? Actually says yes. So I'm going to let me stop the share for a moment. And I think the clearing part, I want to do the check-in as part of the other clearing. So, okay, so this is the end of session, the first part of the session, which is on actually exploring what is savings and how we have savings and the reason why we need savings. I'm going to, for those of you watching this on replay, please watch the next session, which is actually clearing. And I've done this time around, I've done the check-in part in the clearing session also. We'll do a check-in initially, and then we'll do the clearing, and then we'll check in again to see how we feel about savings now, okay? So this is the end of session 1.